Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Do Brand You. I'm Lorraine Taylor and we have a great guest on today for our In Conversation podcast, and that's Leanne. She is the founder of Red Pencil. Now she's a book editor. She does proofreading. She works with corporate marketing as well, and she's going to tell us a new venture that she is on today. She's been able to craft her life around living her best self, using her skills and talents, doing what she loves. She does live here in New Zealand, but she has a global audience of people that she connects with and works with. So we're going to find out all about that today. So welcome, Leanne, to Do Brand You.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So why don't we just get right into this? This is what we like to do on the channel, is get stuck right into it. So why book editing? I mean, my picture of, book editors is the big red, and your thing is called the Red Pencil. That's
Yes.
what I think. There's red marks all over my writing. So what inspired that and how did you get into it?
Well, it came about, I got sick, it must be about 15 years ago, and because of the major illness I had, I became immunocompromised. So I needed something that I could do where I could monitor my own health. And I'd always loved reading. I'd loved spelling. I was the top of my class at school. If they had had spelling bees when I was a child, I reckon I would have won, because spelling and grammar is my thing. You know, some people like maths and chemistry. I like words. So I looked for different things and I thought, well, I love reading. I love spelling. So let's get some more skills and see if I can make this as a business so I can work from home and look after my health. So I did.
I just absolutely love that you've come from a place of, not saying, oh my gosh, I've got all these issues with my health or whatever, but this is my parameters that I have to work in, and how can I now, work within those to suit me and still do what you love. That's amazing. This is a little side question, but I'm really interested. So you wanted to become a book editor. Have you ever wanted to author your own book?
No. I'm not a writer.
All right.
I don't write, but I love taking other people's words and crafting them to make them better.
Wow.
And everyone's got their little things. There are editors and authors that do the same business.
Yeah.
But there are also authors that don't want to edit. There are also editors who don't want to write. So I've gone into my area and I just edit other people's work because that's what I'm good at.
Yeah, that is so cool. I just love that. Yeah. And finding that real niche. So, I mean, we've had, me and my daughter, Ashley, we had the wonderful opportunity to have you edit our book, Where Are You From? And what I really loved about working with you is, that you take so much care for the customer and you really wanted to get to know us. I mean, I distinctly remember, because we live near the same town here in New Zealand or city, that you wanted to get together and find out, what did we want from this book and what did we want? You wanted to just get involved in our journey. Can you kind of share how, becoming a book editor, doing what you love, how did you grow into this, way that you have of building relationships with the clients?
Well, I understand that the book it's your baby. You've poured your life into this book.
Yeah.
So to get to know the person I'm working with, it's to get to know them, understand them. And I'm a friendly person. And that's what I've made my business on. I want to be friendly. I want to be approachable. I don't want to make people think of this big red pen that's going to cross out their writing and tell them that it's bad. I want to work with them to make it better. So it's just part of who I am. Yeah,
that's so cool. And I can vouch for that, because, that was our fear. It's so hard if there, I know there's people listening here that are book authors or want to be book authors, and it's the editor is often the first one that you have to give your baby to, and it's so difficult. And for you to really capture that and then understand that is so cool.
Yeah, I don't want to be the big
what kind
scary
of challenges did you have starting a business and growing, is there any challenges that you had? You're trying to do your best version of who you are as you're growing, and what were some of the challenges?
It was hard to find business, find clients, because people want to work with someone that's got a good reputation or they're recommended to you. So starting this from scratch and being in New Zealand, which is a small country, which now I'm worldwide, it took time. It wasn't a job that I could get rich quickly because it's a job that took time. I think it took me about 3 years before I started earning income.
Right.
And it was just plugging away, meeting people, doing what I do, and just connecting and trying to show credibility for who I was, that I actually knew what I was talking about. And it paid off.
That's amazing. I love that too, because so many people that got a side hustle or wanting to do things, it's, we do get sidetracked on that. It's just going to take too much time. And I think as much as we are living in a very connected world, it's really, really hard to connect. And you just hit it on the spot, is, build those relationships, nurture those relationships. And then, so was it through just building relationships that you went from New Zealand-based business to a global one?
It was connecting with other editors and authors on Facebook, talking to being involved in networking groups, being part of Do with your group, and different groups that I met, and just sharing all the time what I did, what I do, who I am, and people referred me. And that's where a lot of my business comes from. It's referrals. And that's the way business should be.
That's exactly the way business should be. Yeah, that's for sure. I will say we will put your links down below in the show notes. So if you know anyone looking for an author, book editor, I should say. Yeah, definitely check Leanne out here. So now you've gone on to a new stage you're going, which is book coaching. So what is that?
Book coaching it's just another aspect that I can help authors. It's being a cheerleader, being an encourager, working with an author who may have a book idea but doesn't know how to get it out of their head onto paper. Or it may be an author who's written a book, but beta readers and people are saying there's things missing. It's not cohesive. Or it could be someone who's written a book and just wants to find an agent or a publishing deal. So it encompasses everything that I already do, but it's just another area that I can help another range of authors. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool, because you've really hitting that niche there of people that are, we feel lost. I'm a big fan of coaching, and I often, take up coaching. Even when we uploaded our book to, the book that we wrote that you edited, we uploaded it to Amazon and also Ingram Spark. I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I follow a lady on YouTube, and she just like, I'll pay you for a couple hours, come and walk me through the steps. So it's fantastic that you're spreading out and offering those services as well, getting people really started into that. Go ahead.
I just had a lady call me before Christmas and said, I've written a book. It's not good. I need someone to hold my hand as I finish it off. And so I said, well, this is not something I do, but let me have a look at it and let me have a think about it over the Christmas break, and we'll see what happens. So she sent me the book. I realised I could help her with it, and researched book coaching, and said to her, look, I'm just a newbie, but I'm happy to hold your hand, and you can be my guinea pig, and we will work through and see how it works. And she's giving me great reviews. She loves the way that we're working together, the working by chapter or chunks of the book, and it's working. And I thought, well, people need it, so let's offer this.
Gosh, I love that. As we grow our side hustles or our businesses or whatever we have, that's happened to me, but I love that it wasn't something you went out looking for. People are actually asking you for it. And instead of saying, no, I can't do that, you're like, hey, let's just go forward and do that and get stuck in. That is so
Yeah.
cool. Mm. So we've kind of bounced around the idea of what drives you, but how do you kind of express, which it's not an easy question, but what is your why? What actually motivates you to get up every day and just keep moving forward and doing what you do?
It's my family. My why will always be my family.
That's so cool.
When I started this, my children were primary and intermediate school. So I wanted to be able to be around when they got home from school.
Right.
I wanted to be here to talk because kids often want to talk over food. So when they get home from school, they want to debrief. So I wanted to be here. So working from home could do that. And also the 3 years that I wasn't earning income, my husband was supporting the family as I grew the business. So everything's for me is family. It's why I get up, why I do what I do, and it's encouraged enables us to have holidays every now and again and do things as a family. So it's always going to be family for me.
I really love that. I love that so much. We live in this kind of world where if people have a business, it's about business success. We get so focused on this hustle culture, and like you've just nailed it. Like you've just designed a life around what you love and what you do, and your why is actually to really just live that giving value to the people that are close to you. I know that this will inspire others to do the same, because I just had a conversation a little while ago. It'll be an interview also on this channel about how when he started out his software business, I mean, his why was really to impress his dad and to try to impress other people and to try to be successful and be seen as successful. And it took him, he went through 3 successful software companies, but it wasn't until he got into the second one that he was like, wait a minute, I have to do that. So like, how do you create this balance of life that you can? Because certainly you're going to have times where, your business is growing and you have to get work done, and yet you're getting pulled here and there, especially when you had younger kids. I mean, how were you able to balance that? Any like secrets that you used?
I have my office. I've got an office, so I'd shut the door. So I would only work office hours. If I did get somebody say I've got an urgent job, well, they knew that they would take me away from their kids, so I would charge them extra rates. If they really said it was urgent and they really wanted it urgently, I would work the extra hours. Now my kids are almost 19 and 24. They're self-sufficient, so I can still work around the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But then with editing, it's not something you can do for 8 hours a day.
Right.
You can only do a set amount of hours before your brain goes, nah, you've got to stop and do something else. So I do 4 to 5 hours a day. And if I do have an urgent job, like I did last week, I worked into the evening until 9 p.m. one night to get the job done for a client.
Yeah.
But the next day, I took it slow.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have busy days and then I'll take a quiet day next, because I'm still going to monitor my health as well.
Yeah.
So I work around what I've got.
Man, this is so inspiring, Leanne, because that's what people who are doing their side hustle, wanting to, go after their dreams, go after things, is that they literally become a slave to their dream and they just get overwhelmed with it. And yet you've been able to set clear boundaries. But I haven't actually had anybody mention that to me. And that is that you also have put a price increase on your time. So you are available at a price increase. And I think that's such a great thing. Yeah. Super.
Well, this is my business, but I've got a family as well, and I'm not available 24/7 for anybody unless you want to pay me. And it costs more because it's taking away from family, it's taking away from sports, it's taking away from different things that I want to do on the weekends. But if it's a job, it's urgent,
Yeah.
and you're happy to pay a price, a premium for that, I will do it.
Yeah. It's interesting with this whole pricing concept, because that is a real stumbling block for people. They have a product or service they want to offer. It comes down to pricing, and so many people price too little. And here, like what I'm hearing you're saying is that you were quite happy to put a premium on that. How did you start that whole journey of when you began your business? Did you have struggles with how do I price, and did things change when you did it?
Oh, yeah. From when I started, I was happy to charge anything to get a reference or a good testimonial to start working. And very quickly, I realized that I needed to actually earn what I was worth, because self-employed, you've got to pay everything. You don't get holiday pay or sick pay. So I follow the Editorial Freelancers Association, and in the US, and this Chartered Institute of Editors and Proofreaders in the UK.
Okay.
And they have rates that are rates to charge. So I follow their rates and change them New Zealand dollars. So whatever I do is I'm in line with other editors and proofreaders around the world.
Yeah. So you, when you charge, you're charging an equivalent into US dollars and euro. Yeah.
And if I've got a US client, I charge them in their currency. And if I've got a UK client, I charge them in their currency. It makes things easier for them.
Right.
And it works. So, but you'll always get people like Fiverr and freelancer.com and Upwork where they will charge $5 for doing something. And it's too cheap is not always better. Too cheap is often worse.
Yeah, it's more complicated.
Because they end up coming to me anyway, and they say, look, I should have come to you in the first place. So, yeah, I
think for anybody listening too, because this is something I really struggled with, but very early on, I really was like you, and I looked at what was out there as the going rate, and I did, because we live in a global world now, and even if you started in New Zealand, but it did go global. For you to think in that, I mean, I charge in US dollars, everything is in US dollars, and so it's hard sometimes because for New Zealanders, it can be pricey because of the currency. Do you deal anything with, I'm just curious, do you deal anything with, this currency, inequality within the world? It's a challenge, hey?
Yeah, I know a lot of South African authors want to get a South African author because they can't afford to pay for an American or any other country. So I see that. But mostly I'm working with either big corporates or authors, and so they'll happily pay in their currency. Once they know that I'm part of following the groups or the organisations that are for editors and proofreaders. Yeah. Some of them want to barter you down. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to undercut my prices just because for you. But if this is going to be a long-term business deal and we're going to build a relationship, well, then there will be room to move. But it's got to start from my prices, and then we can discuss things. I'm not going to drop my prices because it just undervalues my services and means I'm working too hard for not enough, and I get sick.
Yeah, exactly. You are like, it is really, Leanne, so inspiring that you're very clear on the boundaries that you set for yourself, and there's any emotional attachment to that. And it's definitely how I've run as well, is like, this is the space that I'm in, and this is the prices that I charge. And if you're okay with that, then that's it. Otherwise, I always say there's a lot of other people sitting at the same table. There's a lot of other editors. So if you have to go out, but you know exactly like who you're serving, it's really fantastic. So I wanted to also say that we're talking about how it's, how you've set up this business in your home, and it's working really well. But then I do know that you just went on holiday and you were doing a bit of work there. And this is a dream of so many people, that they can take their work with them and then combine it. So how did that happen? Is it the first time or what?
We went to Noumea. We wanted a holiday my husband and son wanted to go out and do things. I wanted to relax. So we all got what we wanted. It was interesting. It was just wonderful. And I have a regular client who has work every week. So I knew that there was going to be work to be done. So I thought, okay, let's take my laptop and see how it goes. Because one of my goals is to travel. Once my youngest son is old enough to move out of home and has got his own life started, my husband and I want to travel and we want to work. So I wanted to see if I could be a digital nomad and work. And it was wonderful. I just set myself some time every day, sit on my laptop, do the work, and then I got to explore the island and explore the culture, and it can be done.
Yeah.
And sitting outside in the warmth compared to Christchurch, which is
in
really,
the
really
winter
cold today, is wonderful to have the warmth. To be able to sit outside and see the sun on your face while you're working.
Yeah. I love that. I know a lot of people that is a dream that they've put out there. I know that that's on their vision boards, and it continues to stay on my vision board. Is that I've wanted to. I started my business in 2012, and it was part online and part face to face, and now I've gone completely online, and it's just amazing how. Yeah, it was a worry the first couple of times I did it. It was like, oh, especially when I had to meet with people on Zoom. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? But hey, I just put other people as hosts of the Zoom in case my internet wasn't good. And gosh, we live in a world that it's so easy to do this now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's ahead for you? What are things that you are looking at doing? I mean, we've learned about your business and everything. What are the things that you are doing now or in the future that, just bring enjoyment to your life, especially with grown kids now? So your hobbies or things that you want to get involved in?
One of my hobbies is reading. I don't get to read for pleasure when I'm working because I can't get I can't get into a book. If I'm editing a book, I can't read another book because then I have too many characters running around my head and nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
So holidays are a great time for me to read. So if I've got a long weekend, I try and clear my schedule so I can just read and read and read. I love reading, especially outdoors. Can't wait till spring and summer when I can sit outside in the deck chairs and just read a book.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing, yeah.
It has to be a book. I can't do it online because I spend all day online. So I want an actual book so I can feel the cover and smell the paper. Oh, it's my thing. I love reading.
Yeah. Oh, you really have found your niche. I mean, your skills and talents, and you still want to explore that. I just love that. Yeah. And it's, again, it goes back to the boundaries that you set that have allowed you to be so successful in that. Like I just heard you say, when I have a 3-day weekend, I will read. And that implies that you take that 3 days off, that's scheduled off. And I know I've been getting your newsletter, and like come the end of the year, it's like, okay, like, let me know if you have any jobs. I'm filling up for next year and I'll be away for 3 weeks or whatever you do.
Yep.
It's so important, isn't it?
Oh, you've got to switch off. You can't always be working. You can't always be on the go. There's more to life than working.
Yeah, for sure.
After I recovered from being really ill, my husband and I thought, there's more to life than just paying mortgage and paying bills. Let's start creating memories as a family because life is short.
It is.
So that's one of the things I've carried into my business too, is that this is enabling me to have a life where I can make memories with my kids. They'll always remember that Mum was at home.
Yeah.
I got home from school.
I love that. Yeah, I really love that. So gosh, like always, the conversation ends too soon and we are really wrapping that up. But thank you, Leanne, so much, because I know I'm going to go back and listen to this again. You've really shared some really great little golden nuggets, and that inspire me and it will inspire others as well. So as I like to leave our show here what is one of your favorite quotes and why is that?
One of my favorite quotes is, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible." And it's by Audrey Hepburn. And I love it. It's just, nothing's impossible. I'm possible. I can do anything that I put my mind to. Right. And it's been an encouragement all the way through that it might seem hard, but I'm possible. I can do that.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
how
I
can I do
love
that?
that.
What can I do to make that happen?
Mm. I love that. I didn't realize it was Audrey Hepburn
Yeah.
that said
I
that.
hope it is actually her. I've seen it's been accredited to her many, many times. So
Yeah, yeah.
God, I just love it. I saw it very, very early on in starting my career, and I thought, I just love what that says. I'm possible.
Well, that is great. And Leanne, thank you so much, because what a great way to share to end what our great conversation is for the people that are listening to remember that you are possible. So thank you so much for this great conversation.
It's awesome.